knockouts. You know, if that was the case, his face would look like mush. You know, he's moving his head, he's jabbing.
Yeah. He's slick. A lot of people too, like,
since he knocked people out so much, people forget that he's a good boxer.
Yeah.
Terence Crawford is my favorite fighter of his era. You know, he's my favorite fighter of his era. So, as friends, as business, in boxing, Terence Crawford wins.
Right. But then again, I think about Crawford's abilities and his IQ and his footwork, which Canelo cannot handle. And we know that for a fact. It happened with Bivol, it happened with Mayweather, who schooled him left and right.
Mike Tyson warned Canelo Alvarez after watching Terence Crawford's brutal training sessions. Tyson said, "Every fighter has their own style, but when it matters most, some fighters become as vicious as animals. Get explained that when aggression and discipline come together, a boxer becomes nearly unstoppable." According to Tyson, Crawford's intensity and mindset show that he is ready for war. That hunger, he suggested, might be too much for Canelo to handle.
Not long ago. That's what's so crazy.
Listen, most of these guys, Alexander Green, Hannibal, Genghis Khan, we have their DNA. That's why some people are savages to some, because we have these guys' DNA. These guys conquered the world, and look who we are, what level we are. We have their seeds. We have them. Some people, they have those psychopaths. Some people love killing people. Some people love eating people. Some people don't, just like animals, some animals get domesticated quicker than others. And the same in human beings. Some of them get domesticated quicker than others. And some of them just never get domesticated. They're just what they are.
So you're genetically passed down, their makeup.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I think the way we're so attached to our phones is going to lead to us being attached to some electronic thing that we wind up accepting in our body.
No, listen,
and it's going to change what people are.
Like some iRobot shit, honestly?
Yeah, legitimately. Like some kind of cyborg
if all of us
shit.
right now, if our phones stop now, we would start fighting for some reason. Before we figure this shit out, if our phones start now, we would for some reason find reasons to fight.
We're so distracted by phones. But I think the thing about phones is you accept the fact that everybody has one. You accept the fact you always have it on you. So it might as well be a part of your body. It's just not connected. And one day it will be. One day they're going to figure out how to put a thing on your head that makes your brain work way better. And a few people are going to do it and they're going to have a big advantage. And then we're all going to do it.
But until then,
your
phone will be like your will. When you die, take my phone.
As Terence Crawford prepares for the toughest challenge of his career, he has been training with Carlos Adames, a rugged middleweight known for his relentless pressure and raw power. This decision reveals Crawford's mindset heading into the fight with Canelo Alvarez. Against a naturally bigger opponent like Canelo, Crawford understands that absorbing heavy punches isn't optional, light's essential. By sparring with Adames and enduring his powerful shots, Crawford is conditioning both his body and mind for the storm he expects on fight night. It's proof of his persistence and smart strategic planning.
So here's a video that many people have sent me to determine in their mind that Terence Bud Crawford would lose to Canelo Alvarez, or is going to lose September 13th to Canelo Alvarez, as he is sparring here middleweight WBC world champion Carlos Adames, who has 24 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 18 wins by way of knockout. And people are saying that Carlos Adames, who's 5'11" with a 73-inch arm reach, is having his way with Terence Bud Crawford. And this is an indication that the 168-pound Canelo Alvarez, who's 5'7" with a 70-inch arm reach, is going to have the same type of success and knock Terence Crawford out. But what people are not paying attention to is Terence Crawford is standing right in front of Carlos Adames and taking the big punches from Carlos Adames as he's standing in the pocket and counterpunching him and taking his blows at a smaller weight class while competing at 147. Now he bulked up.
Oscar De La Hoya, Canelo's former opponent turned promoter, believes Canelo's aggression could actually backfire. Canelo to apply pressure, but argues that Crawford's creativity and adaptability will allow him to break through. De La Hoya pointed out how Dimitri Bivol beat Canelo by controlling distance and tempo, while Floyd Mayweather frustrated him with defense and ring IQ. Similarly, Crawford, being a southpaw switch hitter with sharp counters and high boxing intelligence, has multiple paths to victory. While Canelo brings power and volume, Crawford's skill and ring smarts could be the deciding factor.
Do you feel that Terence has a shot in beating Canelo Alvarez?
That's the $1,000,000 question. When I watched Terence Crawford get rattled and rocked by Yorkis Gamboa, who's a natural 30-pounder, that to me is going to be a huge problem when he gets hit by Canelo. So he fights at 175. He's fighting these big monsters.
Right. Yeah.
He's not getting rattled at all.
No.
Berlanga's a big kid.
Right. Yeah.
So it makes me think, I mean, how is Crawford going to keep him away for 12 rounds? Canelo's going to come at him hard.
Right.
But then again, I think about Crawford's abilities and his IQ and his footwork, which Canelo cannot handle. And we know that for a fact. It happened with Bivol, it happened with Mayweather, who schooled him left and right with no problem. And Canelo was way stronger than Mayweather. So there's
Don't
a
you
lot
think
of
Canelo's a better fighter than he was then? Today?
a better fight. Yeah, a little better. Yeah, his footwork is still the same. He's flat-footed. He's very heavy on his feet.
Obviously, Canelo has the power to hurt anyone.
In this game, power means a lot. If you can't keep your guy off you, or you don't know how because it's too much pressure.
Right.
And the one thing about Crawford is that he knows how to handle the pressure. He's a savvy boxer, you know? And he doesn't run, and he has that heart. He's a dog. He has that heart. You want to fight me?
Comparing Crawford to Alexander Usyk is not far-fetched. Usyk, a naturally smaller heavyweight, defeated giants like Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury by relying on speed, technique, and confidence. Experts suggest Crawford should take the same approach, against Canelo focusing on his strengths instead of trying to outmuscle him. Today's boxing landscape rarely sees Crawford's mix of rhythm, precision, and ring control. Just as Usyk neutralized size with skill, Crawford must stay true to his style and instincts. His greatest weapon might not be brute strength, but his ability to impose his own rhythm on the fight.
To reevaluate him bulking up and say, you know what? Nah, Terence Crawford, if you want a chance, not just to survive, but a chance to beat Canelo Alvarez, you have to be you. Just like Alexander Usyk was himself to face muscle machines like Anthony Joshua, big, tall enigma in the heavyweight division like Tyson Fury. Now, let me quickly give you an example of what I'm talking about. See, when Alexander Usyk fought Anthony Joshua, right? He weighed in at 221. Joshua was 244, giving up 20 pounds, over 20 pounds, almost 25 pounds, right? Alexander Usyk didn't chase Anthony Joshua in terms of trying to bulk up. Oh man, I'm gonna fight this heavyweight. His power is gonna be more than me. His weight, he could overwhelm me with his weight, his height, you know, his power. No, I'm gonna be. I gotta be the most comfortable fighter I could be. I gotta be comfortable under my own skin. I'm not gonna beat him off power. I gotta beat him off speed. I gotta beat him off movement. I gotta beat him off adjustments. I gotta beat him off IQ. Right? So Alexander Usyk didn't have to bulk up to be successful. Now look at this one. Look at when he fought Tyson Fury. He kept the same energy, he kept the same mindset, and it still got him to become an undisputed heavy.
Crawford's coach, Joe Diaz, says his fighter's skill set will immediately trouble Canelo. But he also highlighted the historic financial significance of this bout. Despite dominating multiple weight classes, Crawford has often missed blockbuster paydays. This fight changes everything, both his legacy inside the ring and his earnings outside of it. Diaz stressed that the pressure will be immense, but so will the rewards. Crawford isn't just fighting Canelo, he's fighting for generational wealth and recognition, stepping into a spotlight that few boxers ever reach.
You know, never made those millions of dollars that he deserved to make, and became friends with Turki Alish, which Turki Alish announced it publicly. Terence Crawford is my favorite fighter of this era. You know, he's my favorite fighter of this era. So, as friends, as business, in boxing, Terence Crawford wins. But he wins money. Because now, hey, you know what? As my friend that you are, I make you an offer. Would you fight Canelo? I'll give you 40 million. I don't know if it's 40, I don't know if it's 50, 60, but he's not gonna make no less than $10 million. So right there, Crawford's winning, regardless. As a fighter, like, dude, you give me 20 million, I'll fight anybody. I'll fight Anthony Joshua right now. So Terence Crawford has to sell the fight. He has to say, I'll beat Canelo, left and right, whatever, right? But we've seen it we've seen it many, many times. When fighters move up 2 divisions to be the champion, they fail. I mean, I saw it with Mikey Garcia when he fought Earl Spence. I saw it when Demetrius Andrade, a 147-pounder, was avoided for years. He moved to 54, he was avoided. He moved to 160, he fought maybe once or twice. Nobody wanted to fight him, so he moves to 68 and fights Benavidez. What happens? He looked good for the first 3 rounds because he's good. But once that heavy monster is coming at you...
Shocker Stevenson, one of boxing's brightest young champions, is confident in Crawford's chances. He dismisses concerns about size, noting that Crawford has already adjusted to the higher weight classes and that he and Canelo are nearly the same height. For Stevenson, this fight is about skill, not size. He argues that Crawford's natural strength, conditioning, and adaptability make him just as strong as Canelo. Beyond the physical, Stevenson believes Crawford's knowledge and mental toughness outweigh Canelo's supposed advantages, adding even more intrigue to the showdown.
See Crawford as a man who can beat the sport's biggest star.
I think Bud go Canelo. He's gonna cook him. I think, Canelo a hell of a fighter, but I think Bud just got all the two.
You don't think the weight difference is gonna be too big of an advantage?
I think y'all make that something, there's certain fights.
Boxing makes it something, not
like if this was like a Benavidez, he's actually a lot bigger than Bud, so that would like apply. But I feel like with Canelo, he's like physically kind of big, but like height wise, he's kind of small. So I don't think so. No.
For how you got a decision established because Brandman and Boozy think that Bud actually might stop.
Me and Boozy talked about that. That's crazy. Me and him got on the phone, talked about it, but I think that's possible. Like, I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but I think it's a possibility if Canelo gets to acting out of line and not understanding that Bud could crack.
Still, doubts remain. Critics acknowledge Crawford's greatness, but argue that many of his past opponents didn't have Canelo's stature or global recognition. Point out that while Crawford dismantled Errol Spence Jr., undefeated, champion before that fight Spence doesn't carry the same weight as Canelo in terms of experience and legacy. Skeptics warn that Crawford has never faced a challenge quite like this. They admit his skills are undeniable, but question whether his lack of big stage experience compared to Canelo could tilt the fight.
4. This is how I feel about Bud. Though I think Bud is an elite fighter. He got mad skills. I ain't impressed with nobody he's beat or fought. I'm not. Earl Spence is the only credible fighter that I put on his resume that I feel like, now that motherfucker right there, okay, you beat him, you're legit. But let's pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes. I will say this to the day I fucking die, nigga. And I will say it screaming from the rooftops. And I will be 90 years old and still saying this shit. I'm not giving him no motherfucking respect or props fighting a weight-drained Earl Spence who took the fight. Not only did he have a broken orbital ball, he had eye surgery previously, had 2 fucking car crashes where he almost died. Though this is not Bud's fault. This ain't Bud's fault. It ain't Bud's fault that he had them car crashes and he was drinking or doing whatever the fuck he was doing. It ain't Bud's fault he got hurt in training and fucked his eye up and had to pull out of the Manny Pacquiao fight. That ain't Bud's fault. It ain't Bud's fault if it ain't Bud's fault that they put Earl Spence in the ring weight drain like that. That's Earl's fault. Earl waited for this motherfucker. He been crying. I got videos on my channel. Have you not seen it? I got
Former lightweight champion Michael Bay believes this fight is a once-in-a-generation event filled with unpredictability. He calls it a true 50-50 matchup where the stakes are massive for both men. For Crawford, even a close decision, win or lose, could elevate his status, proving his courage and skill against boxing's biggest name. But for Canelo, the pressure is heavier. A narrow win could spark doubts about decline, while only a dominant victory would reaffirm his throne. That contrast makes the fight fascinating. Both fighters are risking everything. But the meaning of victory and defeat is very different for each.
Terence trying to get the win. If he get the win, this could put him in that all-time status. You know what I mean? And you got Canelo like, damn, I can't lose to this little dude. So it's like, you know, it's pretty much they both, you know, Terence is you know, he trying to get up on that Mount Rushmore, and you got Canelo that's damn near like, man, I can't let this little dude beat me. You know, that could pull his legacy down a little bit. So you got both fighters, they got a different goal, but man, they both real good and both elite. They both at their absolute prime, probably at the best, at the top of their game. Yeah, I just think it's just a matchup wise, skill wise, all around. Yeah, that's the best matchup right now.
Canelo beats Crawford. What does that do for Canelo? Crawford beats Canelo. What does that do for Crawford?
I think it's how Canelo got to beat Crawford. I don't think he got to, like, if he could like stop Crawford, like it'd probably look good. But him just winning, I mean, he'd get his props, you know, from dudes like me and you probably. But I mean, it depends how he wins. To me,